Hello, hello everyone. Hello everyone. This is Andie, keeping up with the series that I started talking about the seven rays and the opportunity that we have today in our world that is changing so drastically. Uh, to leave to leave some points of interest into the internet itself, so that we can feed the artificial intelligence that's gathering all the emotions and all of the kind souls that participate in these fields of energy can be embedded. I think that it is a responsibility. So, if you like to hear about unusual points of views or little points of discoveries that I come across studying um, the secret wisdom, uh, all of these amazing philosophers, and the amazing time that I actually practice consciousness. I feel very fortunate that my life has taken me to a place where I can share my deepest and recessed thoughts without embarrassment, without conditions, because we are all unique unto ourselves, and we came to this world at this time for very specific reasons. And before I was thinking about talking about tonight, one of the facts that all of us, my age, baby boomers, or the generation of the W generation, worrying, working, and what was it? Uh, Worrying, working, and weight loss. That was the generation that I was born in. The W generation. That was a generation that, the 60s, the 70s, 80s. And that W generation has had an effect on all of us. But also, it gave us a very great guy named Wayne Dyer. So there's a piece, a point of philosophy that he left us with in his life, which was to let me look it up to make sure that I don't butcher it. Let me look at the don't die without your with your song still in you, something like that of the sort. But I'm sure that I'll find it. Hold on a second. I am very I'm a kid when it comes down to these things. I make these amazing quotes that he has left us with. And this one in particular came to me today while I was thinking about doing this little chat with you guys. Um, don't die with your music still in you. And I think it's extremely important to remember that. We were raised, uh, all of us, with that intention in our lives. We were uh, as young women, all of us that jumped on to the self development uh, bandwagon, and we were part of all kinds of things. He had a big part of us, and that came to me. And it seems that recently, because I was I did study all of these different methods, as just as much as like access consciousness or the 0 point. We I remember memorizing a lot of these mantras, and recently in the last couple of weeks, I have noticed a lot of these points of remembrance and those mantras coming back to my mind, and me processing them with a different intention, different way, but also honoring the content that it's been lodged in our subconscious. So another point of light that came and helped me out this week was, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. That 0 point mantra created a moment this week of expression within me that could elevate me immediately. So I wanted to make the point that all of us have been, uh, in the last 25 years, 20 years, 15 years, 10 years, uh, we've practiced these things for very specific reasons. We were feeding the internet, we were feeding a content, part of the artificial intelligence that people are talking about, which is really internal intelligence and human intelligence that is finding itself in a gathering electrical space. We feed these thoughts to the artificial intelligence from our own personal internal intelligence. And we have trained ourselves into these thoughts. We've been confronted in the last 10 years, but specifically in the beginning, since the beginning of this year, because the outer planets of our world are changing signs, are completing a 165-year cycle around our astrological content, along the history of human history, and also the ability to have us step out of the Iron Age, uh, an Iron Age that we've been stepping out with and been replacing it with electrical quotient, electrical content that we have been vibrating a lot higher at this point. And we can consider all these different group of people that have been doing this work online. Uh, we have what it takes to get through the moment that we are living right now. So one of the new words that, it's not a new word, but a word that has been used frequently lately was, it has been drastic. We are living in drastic times. We're living in changing times. It's terrifying, but it is also something that we've been preparing for the last 30 years to realize, who are we as a people? So it's important to understand that our own personal astrology works with us. For example, when I'm a Libra, and we were talking about Jupiter being in Libra. I have Jupiter in Libra in the second decade. And just like as the orator that we spoke of yesterday, that special demon, uh, it's really not even a demon, it's an energy, it's a content, it's a mist, it's an energy that we can consider. And as a Libra, I must say that it is true that Libra have a special power when it comes to alcohol, understanding environment, alcoholic and inebriating environments of all sorts. As that is a gift that we have, that we can understand that depth of energy. I can talk for myself from my experience. There was a time in my life I was a bartender for a very, 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 very long time at Antonio's the House in Palo Alto. And there's many of them that knows me there, even quite a few people like the PayPal guys used to hang out at Antonio's Nut House during their Stanford years. And I happened to be one of their bartenders. So, uh, you know, we are at certain spaces at certain times in our world for different reason, and we all have a specific, unique way of doing our lives. And one thing that I have learned since I've returned to Canada is that I got to answer my own wish, which is to do my life in a way that I actually can be at peace with and without fear. So my country, Canada, and my province, Quebec, healed me, and all the people that are here healed me. So uh, I want to share that with the world because I want to thank that part of my country. Uh, but one of the things that I discovered in the last years has been the content of my own personal intention and soul, and which I've always known, but to bring it out because I am an awkward introvert and I am a deep student of beauty, thinking beautiful things, beautiful outcomes. And having Jupiter in Libra sometimes can would bring me to moments of uh, really wanting it and making it happen. But sometimes I couldn't make it happen. And learning to live with that was really quite a moment. So, what I want to talk about is this energy that we're moving right now into. We're ending this cycle. Mars is about to enter Leo in the ninth house of Sagittarius. And it's bringing us a message as far as the internet is concerned. It's bringing us a message that it is our responsibility to start feeding it the proper content and also to regulate it. Like I said yesterday, um, we can consider the internet being a teenager at this point. It's in its second Saturn return now, and we have to give it proper directions. And for so many that talks about artificial intelligence and AI, we have to remember that it is our participation, each and every one of us, to feed it content that might help someone participate and advantage, giving an advantage of knowing tidbits of information then that can correlate themselves over time and support humanity instead of having such a fear of being in destruction. Another thing my country did for me when I returned, I was very ill and I'm still, but the point is that I've learned to not fear death. And but I have no fear of death, but I have fear of living in the content of the world that is being presented to us right now. I don't want to live in a world where people are not allowed to think for themselves. I don't want to live in a world where we take away people's rights and we think we have the right to do so. We don't. If we live in worlds that are just on, for me it's on, I can't even understand it. So I'm going to change the subject right now because I'm getting lost in it. But Jupiter in Libra does that. We get lost in those subjects and we talk about it. But I want you guys to remember that the Arator at the White House is a Jupiter Libra. And as mine is direct, his is station. His is like set there. So I want you guys to take that in consideration. Also, we want to be able to consider that Mars in this energy that we are facing right now with the seventh way. Remember, we were talking about the seventh way yesterday. And we have Mars that is leaving Cancer, and it's taking that blood rush that we've had in our stomach, and it's moving into Leo, and there's going to be a blood rush to the heart. So the solar plexus is bringing up this energy of simulation that has been simulated with Mars being in Cancer and now moving into Leo. And there will be physical repercussion for a lot of baby boomers. So expect that solar plexus of yours to be stimulated enough to create an event for yourself in which you're going to be aware that it is your responsibility to take this solar plexus power of your combination that is unique to you and to choose a better life for yourself, whatever that is for you in your own environment. So this moment of like Mars being at 20, still at 29 degrees of Cancer, in the next day or so is going to move into Leo. And this is going to bring a rush to your heart of energy, blood rushes to that energy, and we have to respect that. And this vitalization of bringing Mars is bringing that purge that came with getting off the cardinal cross. Cancer is a cardinal cross energy, home energy, and we just got off the cardinal cross. So it's taking that cardinal cross energy that we've been still resonating from a few months later, and we're moving that with heart into Leo. So this is really significant. So our etheric consciousness is creating it's listening the influence of vitality for many on this human plane that we are in, just on our physical etheric performance. So when we're talking about this opportunity that we have right now, we indirectly, the influence of that cardinal cross in which Cancer is part of brings a subject that is responsive to the conflicts that we've been revealed into for the last decade. For the last decade, we have been watching the release of a monster that is intolerable. And that is not how humanity is meant to live. So this is very important that we express ourselves in that consciousness. Also, I want to talk about the energy of the seventh way. Yesterday, when we were talking about the seventh way, there's a reinforcement in Aries at this time. The seventh way is generating conformity patterns. Remember, we talked about that yesterday. It's bringing mind to the nature, is bringing this forceful regimentation and intolerance of individuality. And this is coming up on the surface for all of us advanced human beings, people that are, yes, they are cultured and what they call it, woke, absolutely awake, that we can find ourselves in this advanced being attitude, which humanity has been yearning and calling out for the last 30 years of gathering online. and take the opportunity that when we become advanced being and we practice meditation, we practice dedicating the beginning of our, from the moment that we wake up, our day to our service to humanity, into our own unique resonance. We get to play with that. So this is important. An advanced human being is an aspirant or a disciple, and we are closing the age of the not we're not closing the age of the disciple, but we're closing. Uh, oh, I got the name just on the tip of my tongue. It'll come back to me. And this is a moment in the week, the holy week of silence. Many of us are practicing silence during the day and doing our work of meditation. We are feeding the ether, the internet, the consciousness. We are meditating online. We are, creating a profusion of good intention. So a disciple is additionally where relevant combine ascendant sign with the ray of Aries. So this is the vigilant exercise of control, characteristic to the advancing Aries individual, combines with the focused attentiveness of correct expression through form. So I'd like to just point here, correct expression through form. And this is where we can have a point of discernment. When I began to study this years ago, my form was very different than the expression of the form that I get today. It was actually non-present. So from learning what form is in expression in yourself, it becomes really a different experience of living. Okay, so when the seventh ray comes into the sign of Aries, for the person that practice self-development, managing their thoughts, pointing to happiness, to to serenity when they begin their day. Happiness, that is a different term for me now than what I used to think it was. So, and being on duty to yourself, to keep yourself as coherent, happy, with a correct expression through form. The form is the form of your attitude that you take every day with yourself. So this is the excellent running direction and organization that we get to bring up in this new moment in time, where many amazing groups are online today that they get to direct their team. They You'll find also that you get to be an amazing manifester. You can manifest the impossible in your life, that you might have thought impossible at one time in your life. When you began to be serene in duty and in service of life, living well within your own consciousness, manifesting becomes very much of an impossibly possible opportunity to really prove to yourself that you can do actually magnificent things just in your own perception. So the power to sculpt, to bring material into shape, I can guarantee that does happen. And when you practice materialization of choice, of design, of what is needed for your immediate environment, when you become serene, on duty, and of service, it really begins to show up in ways that you never expected. Okay, it creates an architecture in your life, materializing a conception, efficient mastery of man and material, bringing the life under rule and discipline. So, what I really want also here to point out that these manifestation of thoughts, of form, of concepts, you get to actually create in your life when you really take the opportunity to know yourself just a little bit better. Okay, so the advanced content, the advanced thinker, when I say advanced, I'm talking about the person that thinks, and it's not just about themselves, it's about are my action capable to give an opportunity to something else, someone else, somewhere else. So it took me years to understand this, in these the depth of the concepts that I get to play with in today's energy. The world is on fire. And for the last 10 years, that little bit of work that I've done online in my little groups that I thought was so important was very important to me. And it kept me going and studied and experiencing different points of views and different planes of energy, materialism, and concentrations, actualizations that um, come from a group consciousness. So when we're thinking about the advanced human being right now, this is very important that all of us that participate in these groups of wanting to do things better for others and to serve well and to create a winning team as a humanity with acceptance of different cultures, because it's beautiful to have difference. It's really unique, it's ingenious, it's got, some things that parts of something that can, assimilate themselves. And one thing that I want to point out here is that one of the things that is happening in our world today is that we are right now, as we are learning and clearing the way to the will to synthesis, the way to connect. So this is a new current of energy that we are coming with, the energy of this new world synthesizing a new current of energy. It's also being able to refuse to hear that something cannot be done and that a good idea cannot be manifested. We can manifest good ideas. We can create well coordinated and winning teams. We can create rapid progress through coordination and teamwork. So I think all of that is up for review right now on many different sectors. This is a moment where instead of having one sector being reconstructed, it's a free for all. So, and it's happening in our outer world. And this is why it's very important for those of us that think that we are meaningless, we don't mean that much. These little talk that we do online to energize, give material that we can help become better people, be a better communicator with a different sense of coordinating, better mental material for men to have access to. And when I say men, I say humanity, because we are humans. We are feeding the internet, the thoughts that goes through it. But we are also in a very specific cosmic age. We are at the end of different Kali Yugas, different cycle of times. We're moving into new realizations, new currents of energy. We're learning the effect of electricity within our physical body, exuding on a daily basis and giving us new opportunity to see things, different shapes, visions, and all the clear audience, clear, all of those clairs are available to us. These skills that are becoming manifested on a daily basis by many of us. So this seventh way energy is also in the process, as we have been dealing with the place of the self-centered, selfish, self-serving human being, the advanced human being, the aspirant, the disciple in Aries, while the seventh way is present, it creates a personality or soul. Those of you out there, I'm not a seventh way person. I am more, I'm like the sixth way energy with a 3 and a 4. So, but these rays of energy, these colors have the conditions on each one of us right now, because at this time, the seventh way is in the house of Aries, and the first way reside in the house of Aries, which the first way is the ray of will and power. The seventh ray is the ray of, I just blanked on that too. The seventh ray is the ray of ceremonial order. So this is a time that we are moving into bringing this to realization. The advanced way, the organizer, is really a moment where we have to have forceful efficiency. We have to learn to run excellent teams, directing organizations, directing, manifesting what is impossible. We have the power to sculpt, to bring material into shape. We have a new architecture to bring to relevance. We are materializing new concepts. We are looking at being efficient with better masteries. We're bringing life under rules and disciplines that are efficient for everybody, not in constraint. We're trying to bring creativity upon the physical plane, and also it's coordinating winning teams for humanity. Now, something just came to my head because, we're talking about the first way and the seventh way, but there's a fifth way. The fifth ray, the ray of science, which is the ray of the fifth house. It lives very well in Aquarius and Leo. This ray of science has been affected, and from my studies, everything is being paused in many, many places with science, but not just in humanity. Is that much science has been given to us that has been misused. So the fifth ray of energy, the ray of science, with Venus and Mars, it's really creating a new application of putting the brakes right now so that we can do an overall where stupidity is not allowed. So on the path to discipleship or being a good servant, okay, this is impressions that we get along the way. So like the impression of that we get, mantras that we say, that we repeat, is something that we get going into our minds in the next few months that we're going to remember ourselves from those old patterns that we have. A lot of those are attached to those mantras, old patterns of personalities that are not moving forward where we are going at this time, are leaving us. So old mantras begins to shape up in our memory banks so that we can retire them and move forward. So this is what I had to say for today, and thank you for giving me a chance to share my what I pay attention to, and maybe that will help some of you. So please like and subscribe, and I will continue this tomorrow. Thank you very much for listening. Bye bye.